Race 13 of the IORA Cup Series season, and we are getting underway in 7 minutes and 58 seconds live from the virtual Talladega SuperSpeedway. It is great to be back once again. Right now, looking at the driver of the 93 machine, Nathan Walker, we have a very large field here tonight. One of the largest we've had all season long, and things are still gearing up here in Alabama. Going to be a great night of action. Nathan Walker put into the wall. Contact with Jason Beckman. You can see high speed, a lot of opportunity for contact as drivers continue to get ready. River Page goes right through Corey Lyles there and gets back on his way. Looks like a pit party is underway, as a matter of fact, and everyone's slowing down slowly but surely, getting to the start-finish line. And it looks like now they're going to be able to pass it. A bump draft group, so to speak, is in effect. As you can speak it to say it, and you can see right now Corey Lyles is losing the draft here on Beaver Serrano. Serrano, once again, back. First time we've seen him since the very early part of this season. Races such as Daytona, where we still have the trucks we do not have anymore. And in their place, it is the time for the next gens to rise up. For Super Speedway, we've seen the next gens at all season long. 13 races in, only one more Super Speedway on the schedule. So we're taking our first and only trip to Talladega this season. We got a load of drivers ready to do so. Cooper Glick, Braxton Whitaker on your screen there. John Smith gonna wreck. Glick making his first run of the season, second on the charts so far. But in all honesty, being high up on the charts right now doesn't mean all too much. All comes down to timing your blocks, timing your offense and your defense. As you can see, Alexander Balderas gonna get spun, gets right into Cooper Glick there. And Balderas on his way, that is his 7th lap, and of all those laps he's put in, not one of them counts the timing and scoring. Not able to make it past without an incident in any one of those laps. How about that? You see right now Will Shack flying right through pit road. Looks like he's trying to catch up to a pit party here. There's a lot of guys stopping on pit road, just trying to get some practice in a group, but more often than not, these are pit parties that end in wrecks. Still a lot of time here. 5 minutes and 42 seconds remain with Andrew Cootie top of the charts and Mason Moriarty spinning right outside pit exit. And led by Beaver Serrano, Mason Moriarty on his way. Alexander Balderas catching up to the back of the pack here. Toronto Graphics and Designs returning for its first race on the trail here. IORA Cup Series re-debut, so to speak. As you can see Balderas on the 95 machine on his way, getting blocked just a bit by River Page. Lyles up into the wall, gonna tap Balderas, and Balderas takes River Page out, your defending winner. River Page is the driver of the 24 machine, looking to get it done once again tonight. The Blackwood Builders Group looking to build on a strong foundation that he started to form, of course, last time we raced at Kansas, getting it done, and almost getting it done last night in the FORL Cup Series as well. Page on pit road. Michael Cormenis getting on his way in the number 25 Red Bull machine. And he's going to get blocked by Corey Lyles. Doesn't mean all too much. Goes right through Lyles. And you can see everyone parking it on pit road once again. Landon Gentry gets spun by Beckman. Beckman with Aiden Walker. Thurston, Sean Rowe make contact. And James Thurston looks to be in the wall for just a moment as Sean Rowe flips spectacularly. And now, Thurston's going to make contact with Aiden Walker. 4 minutes, 20 seconds remain before qualifying begins. Won't want to miss that. That's when it gets real intense as Aiden Walker despawns from the racing surface. And John Smith still on pit road. And apparently the number 6 machine is meant to be the number 7. Heather Cameron saying this. However, I think when you load in with a paint scheme, Trading Paints won't be able to get it back following, of course, the time you enter the session. So unfortunately, I'm not sure if it's something that can be fixed. We'll see whether or not that is the case as the night goes on. Trading Paint's a little finicky when it comes to joining sessions and whatnot. Thank you for the comment, Heather Cameron. Hope you have a great race here as you're gearing up. 4th on the charts for the number 6 machine, who should, in fact, be the 17. RFK numbers nonetheless in and out for Heather Cameron. Jason Beckman on his way. Will Shack there as well. And Beckman gonna have to go through the smoke there and gets right by Braxton Whitaker. And Whitaker looks to have a very, very nice new coat of paint, going from the traditional blue for B-Man Designs to a nice neon greenish yellow. New look for B-Man Designs coming out for the first time tonight in the IORA Cup Series here at Talladega. And one of the fastest tracks on the NASCAR circuit, one of the best places to make a debut, make a statement. Right now, a lot of guys on pit road. Looks like Corey Lyles slowly but surely rolls into a stall. And stalling out, Corey Lyles does. Let's look around and see who's on the track. James Thurston is at the moment. Sean Rowe is not. Landon Gentry just wrecked it, and Thurston looks to have wrecked it as well. Looks like right now, not a lot of drivers looking forward, or rather looking to get any practice laps that mean much in. Look to be just having some fun on the track right now. Alexander Balderas side by side with Mason Moriarty. Cooper Glick on his way, and the pit party has commenced once again. And it looks like Michael Cromet's going to spin right in front of him, but he's still going to have just enough draft to keep up. And Moriarty goes down to the inside line. Ethan DeWeldy in the 15 machine on his way as well. And it's a double file procedure, 2 rows deep. Smoke coming out right in front of him. Balderas in the grass. And Aiden Walker, Corey Lyles putting on a show, blocking one another. And this is the time to get the most information out of your car, because if you know how to defend from here, you'll have an advantage in the race. Lyles, DeWeldy, side by side. They're banging doors. They're absolutely connected to one another. You see, still a lot of guys on pit road. Aiden Walker takes out River Page. They wreck once again. A lot of guys just wrecking here. Not a lot of practice in the final minutes of practice as James Thurston comes in on Corey Lyles. 1 minute, 36 seconds remain here in practice at Talladega. And most of the drivers remain on pit road. Looks like practice is over for a majority of these guys. Very few looking to get additional time in. Alexander Balderas burning it down on pit road in reverse. It looks like he's going to almost make contact with Beckman, who's burning it down as well. River Page gets a little bit of contact there. Michael Crometis gets out, just skirting the outside. 15 laps of practice for Crometis. He has not gotten through one officially, incidents in every one of which. Now, Walker and Crometis make contact, yet another pit party out, and this should be the last one. And I don't think now there's enough time to take Andrew Cootie off the top of the board, as the majority of the pack is gaining. Jason Beckman, Sean Rowe, and James Thurston chase down Aiden Walker. And a lot of time has been used, 40 minutes of practice before we get into the race. Walker makes contact right there with Jason Beckman. Not going to mean much nonetheless. Heather Cameron holding on to James Thurston here. Sean Rowe right beside him, and Ethan DeWeldy. DeWeldy makes contact, and the majority of the field is going to go around once again. Looks like Cameron's going to be able to make it past, and gets right into DeWeldy. Heather Cameron going to be the only survivor of that pack, as drivers come to pit road once again. Sean Rowe, River Page make contact. Will Shack gets right around it. And John Smith coming into the party as well. Shack, though, looks to be coming down onto pit road one final time. John Smith running right through pit road. And it looks like he does not care for the speed limit here, but it's all over. And Andrew Cootie will be the top of the charts here in practice. Now let's move on and see if we can get that coveted pole position in qualifying, as Beckman burns it down right beside the camera just after the start-finish line here in Talladega. And a lot of guys have shown up for this race, over 20 for the first time since Daytona. And Andrew Cootie on his way for the first time here in qualifying tonight. Let's see what he's got in store. The 42 machine, the 9 and the FORL Cup Series having to move to an alternate number with the same paint scheme, nonetheless, that a majority of his teammates run. However, we don't see him run this one in the FORL Cup Series, but it looks like he has not changed it for anything but the FORL Cup Series, running the more traditional Guardian Esports paint scheme on his way. And on the back straightaway, Andrew Cootie is. Jason Beckman appears to be as well. However, only on pit road. Aiden Walker out as well. Corey Lyles, Sean Rowe, Sean Conklin gets on his way, and River Page on the backstretch as well. Beaver Serrano, it looks like, has already made it to the start-finish line multiple times already. Michael Cormetis coming through the third and fourth turns. Ethan DeWeldy not far behind, but it looks like Cormetis has the distance over the remainder of the pack, and Andrew Cootie not going to be able to be the first one to get there. It will be Michael Cormetis. Let's go green in qualifying and see who gets the final pole position of 2022. Cormetis running the high line here, and this is what it comes down to. Different strategies even in qualifying. Some guys prefer to use all 2 laps aggressively. Some guys prefer to run the high line on 1 and go all the way down on the 2nd. And of course, it all comes down to your choice, your preference. Although, statistically speaking, going high for one lap and going low for another is much faster. Let's see who chooses to do so. River Page down on the bottom of the back straightaway. Sean Conklin going through the higher lanes. Ethan DeWeldy on his way all the way down to the bottom on his first lap. Michael Cormetis losing a lot of distance and losing a lot of speed for now, but it will all mean so much more on that second lap. Now, let's see who's going to be able to put it on the board first. Looks like the 25 machine still will be the man to get it onto the charts before anyone else. Michael Cormetis gets through his first lap. Now, let's see who gets through the second. And let's see who gets through the second the fastest. Corey Lyles, done and done. Wrecks after his first lap. Not good for him. Cormetis, second on the charts by half a second. Heather Cameron in third. And now, Cormetis down to fourth with Andrew Cootie down in fifth. Corey Lyles, Ethan DeWeldy, River Page now down to the bottom on his second lap, has already gained a half a second on his lap beforehand. However, DeWeldy's gained a second and a tenth on his second lap compared to his first. Heather Cameron gaining 2/10 right now. Cormetis gaining a tenth and a third. And Cootie gaining in a similar vein here. Aiden Walker, however, has only gained a tenth and a third, while Cormetis now has over a tenth and a half of an advantage. Coming down to the stripe, Jason Beckman, new pole sitter for now, but he's still got a lot of time to make that one quicker. He's only on to his second lap, while a lot of guys are exiting their second. Coming to the stripe, Michael Cormetis looks to put it on the top of the board. He gained a total of 2/10 there, and Michael Cormetis will not put it on the top of the charts. James Thurston looks to be the fastest so far on his second lap. Andrew Cootie puts it up to third. Bestie Cadet is a second row start. James Thurston looks to be the favorite to get it done. Aiden Walker up to fourth on his second lap's completion. James Thurston has only gotten through one lap, and he's already the pole sitter, and he's gained what looks to be about a tenth or so on this lap. Unbelievable. Thurston coming down to the stripe. Will he improve once again? Let's find out. James Thurston looks to once again be on the pole position. Won't improve on his second lap, but he will get a nice time of 53.543 to put him at the top of the board here in qualifying, and he's going to do a barrel roll. Done and done. The driver of the 96, and James Thurston is, as it looks like Michael Diaz tried to join the session but got kicked due to the licensing minimum requirements. Landon Gentry on his way, Sean Rowe, Zach Todriff, and the man we want to talk about, Max Molina. Last night, if you were there with us, Max Molina won in Chicagoland, the 89 Designs 112.5, and he won it in overtime with side-by-side action with James Thurston. Thurston was not happy, and he stated that if he's going to get revenge for what happened, losing by 49 thousandths of a second, he's going to get it late in a race. We'll see whether or not he chooses to enact his revenge here tonight. Molina, his first lap of 53.557 puts him up into third on the charts. He's going to be starting right behind James Thurston in a dead heat with the driver in second is Sean Conklin. He almost had the chance to start right beside him, but it looks like qualifying going to be done and done here. Molina not going to be able to get through his second lap. Beaver Serrano getting on his way for his first. It's not going to be all too much here. Side by side, it's going to be the start for James Thurston and Sean Conklin. Qualifying is over. Let's get to the show here and see your starting grid for tonight's event, race 13 of the IORA Cup Series season, and it is live from Talladega. You can see a lot of guys already loading into their cars, a collection of what appears to be a total of 25 drivers have entered this race. 23 are eligible to qualify, and James Thurston, who is our pole sitter, is already spawned in. And now, Sean Conklin, who starts right beside him, is as well. Let's get onto your starting grid for tonight's event. Get onto it using the starting grid sheet. And you can see James Thurston, pole sitter, by what looks to be a gap of 14 thousandths of a second. Sean Conklin in second with a dead heat with Max Molina right behind James Thurston. Certainly those two not happy with one another. A 53.557, same lap time for second and third. Andrew Cootie in the fourth position with a 53.573. And then from there, Aiden Walker starting in fifth and Jason Beckman in sixth. Beckman, the first driver in the 53.6 second range. River Page with a 53.603. Zach Todriff, 1,000th of a second behind him. Rounding gets a top 10, Landon Gentry in 9th, Michael Cormetis in 10th, and Corey Lyles in 11th with Ethan DeWeldy with a 53.653. 3. From there on out, Heather Cameron, John Smith, rounding at the top 15, it's Braxton Whitaker, the slowest driver on time. Then it's going to be Mason Moriarty, who did not qualify on time on iRating. He qualified the highest of those who did not set a lap, Alex Anderson, Sean Rowe, Beaver Serrano, Cooper Glick, Alexander Balderas, and Will Shack, with Herbert Sullivan rounding out the field that's eligible for this race. Joaquin Stewart and Michael Diaz kicked due to the minimum iRating limit that IORA has. 1,500 iRating is necessary to run in this series, with the exception of special events, and this is a special event, but of course it is part of the points-paying tour. 13 races into a 24-race championship. The champion comes home with $300 as a result for their effort. James Thurston, one of the men up front looking for that championship victory. And we only have about a half a lap remaining before we get to the 60-lap showdown in Alabama International Motor Speedway, Talladega, a 2.66-mile racing circuit, an incredibly historic venue for NASCAR and an incredibly historic venue for motorsport itself. One of the fastest ovals in the history of motorsport. It's up there with tracks like Daytona, Monza, the Brooklyns, and the like. However, Talladega seems to be the fastest, and it certainly resembles NASCAR culture, being as fast as possible with as much room as possible. But it all comes down to the mental game. Who's going to be able to play the strategy, not just with the tires, with the fuel the best, but who's going to be able to make that critical move at the perfect time to get the victory? We're going to find out tonight. It could be any of these drivers. It could be your Polestar. It could be Sean Conklin. It could be Max Molina going back-to-back on different nights in different leagues. Could be Landon Gentry. Could be Michael Cormetis. Could be Braxton Whitaker. Could be Alexander Balderas continuing his return tour. Coming back from a broken computer, Michael Cormetis could perform some internet magic tonight and get yet another critical win for his championship hunt if his computer does not deny him. Could Andrew Kuby keep up the pace? We saw him win the FORL Cup Series at Daytona. Could Corey Lyles go back-to-back on the Superspeedways in the IORA Cup Series? All this and more, we're going to find out tonight. The pace car is off. Let's get ready. We are green for the first time in Talladega. Let's go racing, led by James Thurston. And it's a great, dense pack, 4x4. And it even goes deeper than that, but the first 4 drivers get the best shot here. And everyone's so close to one another, the sun beaming down in Alabama. You can see everyone's so close to one another. And the first driver to pull out is going to be the driver of Braxton Whitaker there. And slowly but surely, guys are going to choose to get out of the line. We'll see whether or not more drivers choose to do so as the race has just begun here. And down to the inside line, James Thurston has been all race. Sean Conklin. These drivers slowly but surely are fading out of view. Cormetis there as well. And coming down to the stripe, big wiggle, big wreck it could be. DeWeldy, Page, 2 going in. Yellow flag is out. And we are going to make it to the first lap this time by. Looks like it's going to be the advantage to Conklin as people continue to spin in the back. Braxton Whitaker looked to be involved in that one. It all began with Ethan DeWeldy on our first lap of competition. 2 fast repairs for every one of these drivers. Let's see how bad that incident really was. DeWeldy's still there. So let's try to get that replay here and find out what happened so early in this race. And we are already seeing quite a few incidents. We saw 2, as a matter of fact, coming out of the back straightaway. And I think this time by, we were able to find what happened. And that we did. It looks like it begins with the driver right behind Ethan DeWeldy here. Let's present that replay because, wow, this one, it starts early, but temper's already flaring. So here's where it begins. DeWeldy, already by that point, very wiggly. But let's go back just a bit more and show you once again. It looks like DeWeldy goes up, makes contact with River Page, goes right back into him. And they spin, and a lot of drivers have to move as a result. Braxton Whitaker, one of which, and you can see from there, guys are already getting shaken up. Beaver Serrano gets out of it. Braxton Whitaker does as well. The iRacing pace car, and someone spun right at the tail end of it. We're going to try to find out who that was, as how about that first incident of the night, and it begins early here in Talladega. Looks like that could have been Sean Rowe. We're going to try to find out who it was. looking from the perspective of Beaver Serrano, the man in the 66, the main focus. Let's find out who spun. Looks like might have been Alexander Balderas. Balderas gets right out in front. It was Landon Gentry, as Gentry and Serrano make contact, escaping the incident. Now, let's bring it back to the green flag content here, as Serrano and many other drivers go down on pit road. Andrew Goody, not one of those drivers. A lot of guys already single file, waiting for the race to get back in effect. And 3 laps in out of 60. First caution of the night already happened here. And how about that? As the pace truck tonight goes through the first turn. John Conklin leads from Andrew Cooney, James Thurston, Jason Beckman, and Max Molina. Beckman on a tear, getting up to the front of the pack so early. 3 laps in on the 60. And a lot of time to regroup. Let's see who's on pit road right now, because a lot of guys certainly are. Cooper Glick getting out of pit road. Michael Kremenis looks to have just gotten out himself. We don't see him on the racing service. There he is. River Page on pit road still. Landon Gentry, Beaver Serrano, Ethan Doeldy. Doeldy 1 lap down, as a matter of fact. And he is still on the track at the moment. No other driver is a lap down. And so far, no driver has used their fast repair. Looks like these guys opting for optionals as the race has only begun. 3 laps in, of course, out of 60. Big swerve there. That's Corey Lyles going down the back straightaway. And a lot of room on Talladega's back straight. No grass like Daytona. You can go as far down as you want, so long as you're able to pull it back up. A yellow line rule is in effect in the IORA Cup Series. However, John Smith just got turned by Sean Rowe, and we see some chaos under yellow. And certainly that was not premeditated from on-track incidents. We only saw one in the back of the pack. John Smith, however, sent around, and Smith has been penalized for under yellow wrecks before. However, he's picking up the pace right now. We'll see whether or not he is chasing Sean Rowe. And it looks like he's getting right up to him. Although nothing has happened. Looks like that incident was not intentional. Corey Lyles is going to dive down to the inside once again. And Rowe right there with John Smith. As everything clears itself out right behind the leaders of Conklin and Coody. James Thurston going to be starting on the inside line, and Max Molina going to be able to start right beside him. Coming down to the stripe, everyone going to get into a double file procedure here, as still, drivers such as Doeldy are on pit road. Smoke still billowing from the back of the pack here. Although we are under yellow, looks like there's still a few incidents happening in the back. Lap 4 out of 60. And Page, now in the middle of the pack. Sean Conklin is not. And Conklin dives down to the apron once again. And the final stream of 2022 off to a different start than usual. A first lap incident in the IORA Cup Series, and it's been a very clean season, as a matter of fact. Seen a lot of races go over 100 laps green. However, tonight, not the case. And to end 2022 off quite this race, it will be an exciting one. As always, these guys always put on a great show, and Super Speedways always put on their best. If you enjoy the action, be sure to like and subscribe. It's always greatly appreciated. I hope to see you back next year, when we will continue this series on Thursday nights. Not taking a New Year's break, but of course, certainly, this will mark the end of a chapter here in the IORA Cup Series. 2 seasons in this year. Season 2 won by Daniel Mosteller, and Season 3, its championship has yet to be decided. And a lot of guys here still looking to be mathematically eligible for that victory as the night goes on. 4 laps in, out of 60. 23 drivers able to take the start of this race. Led by Conklin, Thurston right behind him. And we got a lot of guys in this top 10 you might have not expected. Max Molina, Aiden Walker, Zach Todriff, Corey Lyles, John Smith, Mason Moriarty, and Alexander Balderas are the drivers outside of your podium for now. Venerable top 10, that is subject to change. Got predictions for tonight's event? Any thoughts, any comments? Be sure to leave them in the chat room. I'd love to hear what you have to say. We got the chat up right here. If you have anything to add to this discussion, be sure to let us know. A lot of great drivers, and we know they got a lot of fans on the iRacing sphere. Let's see which of them is able to get it done tonight in Talladega. Coming down to the stripe. This time led by Sean Conklin. The 54 gonna get underway. Cootie gets a much better start. We're green once again. First restart underway. And Andrew Cootie gonna get a monster start, but James Thurston pushing as hard as he can to get Conklin back in the game. But now Conklin has the edge. And Cootie's run stalling out just a bit early. Maximilian right on his back bumper. And it all comes down to this here. The backstretch run on the first lap of any restart generally determines who's able to get it done, and Molina has a much more speed now than Thurston. However, coming into the third term, they're dead even. Outside line, getting a little bit untethered, and now Thurston has a clear advantage. 96 machine pushing Sean Conklin to the lead, 5 laps here out of 60. And watching on board from Andrew Cootie. Cootie right behind Mason Moriarty. He goes up high, 3 wide. This is for third. And Andrew Cootie getting covered up by Corey Lyles there. As Mason Moriarty now has a nice run, but he's by himself, not able to hold it on for now. 6 laps in out of 60. And Moriarty is in the cars to get up front. Alex Anderson, however, now up to the top 5 on the inside line. Thurston pushing as hard as he can to keep up with the powerhouse of the outside line. And he's still faster. Gentry around. Beckman in 2-car incident. Now the yellow's out. And we got another coming up right on the track. Moriarty. Multiple cars, multiple incidents. Let's find out what happened. Let's start with the Landon Gentry incident. That's the first one that happened. So let's try to get that one immediately, because you saw that happen first. That is absolutely what kicked off this chain of events. We're going to find the moment that began. Because certainly, had we not had that incident, we wouldn't have had the second, which involved Whitaker and Mason Moriarty. So let's see, because it looks like Gentry getting involved in another one here. Although this time, he is the main cause of the incident. And it looks like he went 3 wide for just a moment. River Page coming right up to him. This looks to be where it began. Let's peel back the replay. See, Page gets into Gentry. Middle line is fading back here. And this is where it begins. Stack up. Gentry gets into Beckman. Multi-car incident there. That Mason Moriarty. Maximilian gets into Moriarty. And Moriarty comes right up the track. Gets into Will Shack. DeWeldy involved as well. And Maximilian, no stranger to incidents in the last few nights. And this appears to be yet another of them. Let's send it back to the live feed, however, as the drivers are bunching up once again. 7 laps in out of 60. And a majority of the field still opting to stay on the track. 7 laps, 2 cautions so far in this race. A lot of time to get it done. However, Sean Conklin gonna lead Thurston and Alex Anderson. Fake out! Big fake out by Sean Conklin. The remainder of the field gonna have to stay on pit road. Anderson, Thurston, Lyles get faked out. Unbelievable. And that was a success if he meant to do that. Sean Conklin puts the move down on Thurston and the remainder of the podium. How about that? Unbelievable. And what a move if that's what he meant. Nonetheless, Thurston gonna top off now. Beckman on his way into his stall. And James Thurston getting 4 tires. Corey Lyles out on his way. Will Shack looks to have taken his first of 2 fast repairs. Wow. Haven't seen a successful pickoff like that in all our years of the IORA Cup Series. Unbelievable. And Thurston back on his way. Andrew Cootie leads from Sean Conklin. Heather Cameron's up to 3rd. And Zach Todriff is in 4th. Walker 5th. And John Smith in position number 6. Alexander Butler in 7th. Maximilian in 8th. And Herbert Sullivan is in 9th. River Page rounds out the top 10 here. And let's get back underway in about a lap's time here. 8 out of 60 have been completed. Led by Sean Conklin in that 54 machine. We'll see what he has in store as the night goes on. A fierce amount of competition here in the IORA Cup Series. And Conklin looking to be one of the best of them. And he is leading the 54 Roe Perry Motorsports machine. Let's try to get an interview with your race leader, see whether or not we're able to do so. Conklin looks to be in a voice chat. However, not accessible through the main IORA voice chats. Looks like for now, not able to get to the driver of that number 54 machine. Majority of these guys are in private voice chats. That is the norm here in IORA. Nonetheless, really disappointing, but we'll see whether or not we can capture him later in this race. Up front so far, been up front all race, might just come out with the victory. Sean Conklin leads, Andrew Cootie in second, and Heather Cameron is in third. In a diverse group of manufacturers, diverse group indeed. Camaro, then a Mustang, then a Toyota Camry. 3 manufacturers represented in the top 4. But the Camaros out up front, they're on top so far, 8 laps in out of 60. Although we have not gotten a long green flag run in just yet, still certainly the potential to do so. Just gonna have to wait and see when that happens. Conklin blocking Andrew Cootie almost as if they are racing down to the line. And Conklin still right in front of him, swerving back and forth. And he's gonna get touched, and he's gonna get moved just a bit there. Big maneuver there. If it means anything, Conklin down to the inside line. He will start on the inside with Andrew Cootie right beside him. And as it stands, Heather Cameron in third, Zach Todriff in fourth, Aiden Walker in fifth, Alexander Balears in seventh, with Aiden Walker now in sixth, and John Smith up to fifth. Side-by-side shuffling, and as it stands, we have a total of 19 drivers, it looks like, in that main pack. Mason Moriarty, not in it just yet, but he is catching up. He's about a lap down. However, not registered a lap down. He's going to be able to get back up to the lead pack as the iRacing pace car does a little bit of a flip there. Not sure if you've ever seen that before in iRacing, but that was an interesting maneuver. The iRacing pace truck on its way. For everyone watching, be sure to check out our community tab. We are currently hosting an iRacing gift card giveaway. That's right, 3-month new membership for new iRacers who hope to get into the sim racing field. We have just a gift for you, and truly, we hope you enjoy it. It means the world to be able to give this one out to every person who wants to get into the iRacing scene. This is entirely for free while supplies last. We still have a total of 13 up for grabs as the year comes to a close. So be sure to check out our community tab and check the rules. They are very simple, and we've had multiple people already claim their iRacing gift cards. We are especially thankful for the opportunity to present them to you. 'Tis the season here on Fireball Talks NASCAR, and we're happy to make your holidays that much better, whether you're watching, whether you're participating in our, of course, giveaways. And nonetheless, your support means the world as we enter the front trailer once again. Restart number 2 going to get into effect here. The iRacing pace car goes down to the inside line. The pace truck, as a matter of fact, leading a sea of cars. Sean Conklin, the top dog of them all. Let's see what he has in store for the field tonight. Conklin, 54 machine, down to the inside line. Andrew Cootie right on top, and this is how it's stacked up. Let's go racing once again. Restart 2 going to get started, and we are once again green, led by Conklin and Cootie. And this time by the outside line has a much better start. Not even close. Heather Cameron not pushing just yet. Looks like we go for Cootie, but Cootie going to be able to get down and clear the inside line. The inside led by Cootie, with the outside led by Zach Todrick. Double file here. There's Cootie leading the way. Side by side now with John Smith, as it's Cootie and Todrick. Double file for the lead. And 2 wide action as the pack has been whittled down to about 10-15 up front. These guys have engines that roar, and that's for certain. Second pack is forming with Mason Moriarty and the remainder of the field there. Right now, at the stripe, looks to be led by Zach Todriff and John Smith right beside him. Top 10 separated by just about a tenth of a second. Now 3/10, everyone's spreading out just a bit, but these guys are under a blanket here. Top 5 now separated by about a tenth of a second, and Todriff goes right back up. Heather Cameron backing out of this one. That's in the 60, not trying to take chances. The driver of the 17 machine is. And Conklin now right behind Andrew Cootie, pushing one another, trying to get back out in front. 11 laps in out of 60. An unbelievable sight. Max Molina almost going to get turned there. River Page hooks him. And as you saw last night, River Page got into Max Molina while burning it down, destroyed his car. So certainly some animosity held from last night there. Molina, River Page, really wiggly here. Not sure what's going on, but everyone's going to be able to save it. And the race still goes. However now, single file up front, 12 laps in out of 60. Todriff leads the way. And it looks like drivers such as Smith, Alderis, Conklin, Cootie, Walker, and the like, Cormetis as well. And then finally Max Molina. They're the ones that hold on the second pack. That much bigger now. You can see they're all trying to get right back up front. But now these 3-car mini packs are not able to do just that. As you can see, now we have a second pack that is really forming, and it's led by Herbert Sullivan in that number 22 Joey Logano machine. However, 89 on timing and scoring here, as Anderson right behind him. A multitude of single file packs. Everyone playing it safe now. 13 laps in at the 60. Getting to the first fifth of this race. Almost up to the first quarter. As Todriff leading John Smith. Now everyone's playing it much safer than they were beforehand, and this means much more of a strategic game as the race goes on. Balderas almost peeking out of line there for just a moment. Not sure what's going on there. But Balderas holds on right behind Andrew Cootie. John Smith almost gets up there as we have one going to the outside line. That's Andrew Cootie himself. This is the biggest and fastest single file line on the track thus far. Faster by about a half a second compared to the remainder of the field here. They'll be able to pull away if time lets them. We'll see whether or not we get a yellow to cause them to all bunch back up. Herbert Sullivan, his second pack, now slowly but surely gaining in. Sullivan leading the charge to get back into winning contention. And Todriff, lap 14, still leads it, riding a bull with the race leader. All about playing it safe now. That is for certain. As the driver of that number 54 machine, 054 machine, is pushed now by John Smith. And slowly rolls it. These guys are rolling, that's for certain. Down to the inside line for just a moment. We saw there Andrew Cootie, Michael Cormetis, Max Molina, final drivers in this main pack. As Corey Lyles and Herbert Sullivan having just a bit of a shuffle, but now Lyles is being pushed and now is pushing Alex Anderson. You can see, now they're getting bunched up. Herbert Sullivan hung out to dry, but James Thurston going to be able to get the draft off of him. The third pack catching up to the second, and the second catching up to the first. 2 packs now in frame once again. And you can see, these guys are getting bunched up, looking to get back into the lead battle. Molina, now the last driver in this main pack. And they're slowly dropping drivers. The second pack is the fastest as they gain support from what was the third. James Thurston closing in on Herbert Sullivan. This is when it all gets much more interesting. The strategy being played. One driver down to the inside line. That's Ethan DeWeldy. DeWeldy destroyed. And we're going to try to find out why. It looks like there's a big incident there, but there's a single car incident. Ethan DeWeldy just destroyed his car. Let's find out what happened. And it looks like he's running in the back of the pack here. I'm going to pull it back up on the live feed in just a moment. The 213 sim where number 15 machine had quite the issue. Goes up high and just loses it there. Not sure what's going on. He just loses control of the car, and that is all she wrote for the driver of that number 15 machine. Let's pull it back up to the live feed, however, and show that Zach Todriff is still leading the way. John Smith there as well. Andrew Cootie third. Alexander Balderas in fourth. But now, it looks like the second pack is in as Kryptonite. They're double file, and they're trying to choose who's going to be the leader, getting them up to the first pack, and that's never a good thing. You want to organize. You want to unionize. You're trying to get back up to the lead pack, and these guys are not doing just that. As a matter of fact, they're doing the exact opposite, and that's not a good thing. You don't want to do that. As the racing gets much more intense, you got to think about getting into a single file pack for now. Slowly but surely working your way up. It's the better thing to do for everyone right now, and they are not doing just that. Now, Todriff and company are pulling away by about half a second a lap. And so long as they continue to pull away, they'll be fine all race long. Alexander Balderas actually now riding shotgun on the field. Not good for him. Braxton Whitaker alone. Will Shack right with him, as a matter of fact. But James Thurston now is the leader of the second pack, which has, in fact, chosen to unionize. And Thurston pushing River Page. While they are a lap off now, they should be able to recoup their losses. 18 laps into the 60. Still a lot of time to decide who's going to be able to get that victory. And it's all about being able to become faster now than you ever were before if you want to catch up to that main pack. Being single file, they're able to do just that. 24, 96, 67, and 56, but it looks like the second pack is still spreading out. And that's not a good thing. The less compression and the less density these guys have on one another, the slower they'll go. They want to become like a bullet through the wind. And they're not doing that if they're getting spread out. However, now they look to be just a bit faster. Michael Cormetis has slowly but surely gained in on the lead pack. He's making moves. Last time by, it looks like now the second pack only 0.2 of a second off of your leaders. And now Thurston and Page are doing business here, and they're catching up to those leaders 19 laps in out of 60. And in a world of their own, these single file 6 are. None of them thinking about making a move just now. 19 laps of 60, still so much time to get this one done. And they're out in their own world, in a paradise, waiting for that final lap. Unfortunately, sometimes in plate racing, it all comes down to a single file procedure until that very last lap. But you're not going to want to miss that final lap, because it always gets exciting there. As Cormetis, final driver of that second pack, sees River Page slowly but surely clawing in. Last time by for the leaders, it was a 49.6. This time by for pack number 2. They lost 0.4 of a second. Something's not right. And you would think, as they get slowly but surely more closer to one another, as a matter of fact, and more drivers are in it, as Alex Anderson gets held out, they would be faster, but they are not. 20 laps in, this pack is not able to catch up to the leaders, and there is certainly something wrong. River Page now going to be promoted to the leader of this pack. And it's sort of like a trial and error game here. You want to see who's the fastest. You can depend on getting up front. And a guy like River Page getting a shot right now. If he's not fast enough, they're going to move him. You'll know whether or not he's able to make the cut. Dak Todriff passing the wrecked car of Alexander Balderas. Balderas now put one lap down on pace. First driver to be put down on pace, as a matter of fact. Last time by for the leaders, 50 flat. This time by for pack 2. Looks like they gain half a second. Now, things are working out. And it looks like now it's a cyclical event. As you can see, using drivers for one lap and then repeating the cycle time after time looks to be the way to go. River Page still up front. Corey Lyles backing out for just a moment. And Todriff now going to have to think different about it, as he's got now the 48 machine of John Smith right behind him. Andrew Goody third, Maximilian in fourth, and Sean Conklin in fifth. Cormetis is in sixth. And the 6 cars leading the way here have a gap of 5 seconds compared to the guys who are behind them. And they are using that to their advantage. They're able to turn it on and off whenever they want it. And the gap is now 6 seconds. Last time by for Todriff, 49.7. This time by for River Page, 50.5. Something is wrong once again, and it looks to be on and off. But more often than not, these guys in that second pack are just slower. That spells bad news. Balderas going to try to hang with these guys. Not going to be able to do so. 95 machine backing it down and getting passed on the outside line. Page and Thurston are trying desperately to make something happen. Looks like, in just a moment there, actually, Cooper Glick goes 3 wide with a lap car. And it looks like Balderas tries to hang him out. And now, Throttle is in the mix. He's right behind the second pack and looks to be able to hold on. Todriff that time by, 49.713. Page that time by. It's going to be for the man in that 24 machine, a 50.866. They lost a second flat that time by. Unbelievable. And this second pack is not making anything happen at this point. They're racing for 7th. They're not racing for lead. As that single file 6 group is that much faster time after time. This is the second pack that's not in contention for the win. Still more drivers. If they want to turn it around, they can. But these guys have complete synergy. 23 laps into 60. And we'll see whether or not they are able to get a 10-second gap. Right now they have an 8-second gap. As 8 concurrent viewers are watching. Unbelievable what these 6 are able to accomplish, as they are much faster than the remainder of the field. And right now, a little bit of a shuffle there. How about we go on board with a driver in the middle of this pack? How about we go on board with Corey Lyles and see what he's up to, as he is fighting hard in the midst of this second pack. And the Anderson machine of Alex Anderson, of course, right in front of him. And we'll see whether or not they check up. They're right now at about 190 miles an hour compared to the first pack speed of 192 miles an hour. Not a big difference, but now they're getting much slower. Big checkup, and Lyles is down to 185 miles an hour. You see how these guys are dispersing? When that checkup comes, that's going to be crucial, because the more you disperse, the more air you let go through one another, the slower you get. And the more that sort of harmonica, rather, not necessarily harmonica, but more that instrumental effect continues to happen, you're just going to mess up. And the air just keeps getting bigger and bigger, that hole, and it's just not possible to recover from. Meanwhile, let's go on board with Andrew Cootie and see his lap as he's in the middle of the pack that he's in. Pack number 1, passing by Aiden Walker and Will Shack. They aren't slowing down. It's Synergy City here. They're going 195 at the same spot where Corey Lyles was going 185. Unbelievable difference for the driver of that 42 machine compared to the 56. And still, it's 6 cars and 2 lap cars making up the first pack. 8 drivers up front. And these are the 8 who are currently the favorites to get it done, as they now have an 8.5 second gap on the remainder of the field. Unbelievable. Nobody is on their level tonight. And you can see John Smith goes down to the inside line on Zach Todriff. They're getting a little more aggressive, but they're still setting sub 50-second laps time after time. Nobody is in their ballpark, as we are 26 laps in out of 60. Unbelievable so far. 26 laps completed thus far. You can see that Todriff is still holding on by about 1/10 of a second, and these guys are not checking up. They're not slowing down at all. As the Ally number 48 machine right behind Todriff is still pushing at about 191 miles an hour. And Todriff knows that he's got no competition thus far. That time by for Team Todriff here, 50.101. That time by for River Page's group. They're going to come to the stripe, and it will be a 49.909. They gain 1/10 that time by. Now, time to turn on the jets again for Todriff. Looks like for every 10th they lose, they gain a second on the next lap. Certainly a strategic game here being played by the leaders, especially by the 54 machine and his main pusher in John Smith. Whatever they do, the rest of the pack is sure to follow. Although right now they look to be on the pace to lose yet another 1/10 of a second. We'll see how that's the case. Thurston and Page settling into pushing one another. Well, the first pack is getting bigger and quicker. We'll see whether or not they hold on this time by. And coming down the stripe, this time for Team Todriff, it's going to be a 49.955. And Thurston and Page leading this second pack come down to the stripe. And for those two, it's going to be a 50.065. Slower that time by the second pack was than the first. So far, these guys are just holding out, waiting for the remainder of the race, maybe waiting for an incident. As Aiden Walker in the pack with Will Shack. These guys are lap cars. They are 18th and 19th respectively, as Cooper Glick backs it down on a pit road. Something has happened to the driver of that 05 machine. Let's find out what that was. Try to see what it was, as we're trying to get an instant replay on the matter, although it appears only just came down onto pit road and he is already out. Cooper Glick back on his way from an error that does not seem to be explained. Zach Todriff still on his way, passing Cooper Glick as we speak. John Smith second, Andrew Cootie in third, Max Molina in position number 4, Sean Conklin 5th, and Michael Kremenis, losing touch with the draft here, is in 6th. Although Will Shack there as well with Aiden Walker. It's an 8-car lead pack, and 6 of those 8 are in the lead lap. Page, that time by, gains about 2/10. It looks to be a dead even ball game here between the two teams, and they are not able to make anything happen one way or another and that's not good. You want to be able to make at least a few tenths. Now, the gap is under 8 seconds, but it's still a lot here. 29 laps out of 30, almost halfway, as Zach Todriff leads him down with a 50-second flat lap. However, looks like now, Thurston and Page are up to something, coming down to the inside line, and it will be, for these two, a 49.6. That's about a half-second gain, and now they're gaining big. They've gained about a second. Actually, it looks like they've gained a second in total, but they're looking to get yet another now. How about it? Now, Todriff and company have to think. Well, they have so much time on their hands. You really got to think of it from the perspective of the leaders. You want to hold on to that final lap. They've already made it half of the way. You want to make it to the rest of the way here. And if they're able to do so, they're just going to have to push a bit harder here. And they are going to lose yet another few tenths this lap. Not good, as they are getting more and more dispersed. Looks like their temperatures might be a little higher than they want them to be. And they might have to spread out for just a bit. But they are losing another second as we speak. That time by at 49.9. This time by for Page, 49.4. That was River Page's second best lap on the night. And we are at the halfway point, 30 laps to go here in Talladega. Unbelievable turn of events. Zach Todriff still leading by 7.2 seconds. Not losing much time this lap. However, he's going to need Cormetis and Conklin to pack up the rear of that pack. They have not done so, and there is a lot of room for open air to pass by and travel right through these cars, and that's not good. You want to pack up this pack no matter what, and they've got to get bunched up once more. Todriff pushing John Smith, and vice versa. Right now, Todriff leads 32 laps out of 60, and they are going to lose this time by nothing. They are a bit quicker than the second pack that time by, and only a tenth to spare. However, Page knows a tenth is everything. As Moriarty and Thurston get backed up, charging up a run, it looks like that's their goal. And Todriff is in a great place right now. 7 1/3 seconds. And it looks like this time by they are gaining on Page and the second pack, who are not even in frame to come around the third and fourth turns at the same time as Todriff, and the sixth who still remain. 29 laps to go. And Zach Todriff has a command on this race, the likes of which we've never seen in any other IORA plate race. And he's holding on quite nicely. The second pack that time by is still gaining by about a tenth of a second. Their run is getting charged up, but as you can see, they're now only a 4-car pack. As the third pack is forming. Sean Rudd, the last of pack 3. But Lyles, Cameron, Beckman, Serrano, Walker. It's only about 12 cars in realistic contention here. Heather Cameron and Jason Beckman really being outliers. And really coming down to about 12 guys as the race goes on. And we've had very few retirements. We have gone green since lap 7. Unbelievable. 28 laps to go. This is a strategic race all the way. Todriff still leads. And John Smith right behind him, 27 laps left. Sean Conklin, position number 5, still pushing as hard as he can for Medicine 6th. And that time by, the lead pack was a tenth of a second faster. And that is the penalty that these guys get for being fast with only a few drivers. 5 cars in this pack compared to 6 in the first pack. Really means you can't gain much unless you're a super team with a better setup. In IORA Cup Series, they run fixed setups every Thursday night. You know what that means. No opportunity to be faster on a different setup. You have to make some magic happen. As we've got guys who look to be coming down on pit road. Maybe not this time by. But we've got the fuel window opening up very, very soon. So these guys have to think about that. And we'll see whether or not they choose to do so right now. Todriff still leading this 6-car group. And that time by, the packs are dead even on speed. And now Thurston goes all the way high once again. Looking for something. This is the one who gets it. It's a 5-car group chasing down 6. And that's going to be a hard task no matter what. As these guys only have so much time, 26 laps to go. Although this race is certainly a long one in 60 laps. It's still going to take a lot to get back up 7.5 seconds and losing more and more time they are. As Todriff and John Smith are running this show without any control, rather, without any challenge for control. 26 to go here in Talladega. As it looks like for a moment there we saw a spin on the track. That is not the case. We got one coming out on pit road, a lapped car in Aiden Walker. And the Walker machine now down by 2 laps. One on pace and one on a pit cycle. And we'll see whether or not these lead guys choose to pit anytime soon. The Norfolk Southern machinery gets caught up in the lead battle. But it looks like now he's only going to be caught up with that second pack. As you can see, these guys are hardly on the same back straightaway here. As now, the group that is running this show for pack number 2 is led by River Page and Mason Moriarty. Sean Rowe up to 3rd in this group. And Thurston and Anderson on the back end of it. But they're losing time. They're now almost 8 seconds behind again. And now it's looking to be slowly but surely an insurmountable gap. With the few drivers they have, they would have to bank on a yellow. However, as it stands, it looks like it's going to go green all the way. And Aiden Walker going up to the high side, trying to slot right into these guys and might be able to help them out, as they're now 8.2 seconds off of your leaders. Unbelievable here. 24 laps to go. And Todriff getting a little bit of a wiggle there, but he's still leading quite nicely. John Smith, his teammate, right behind him. Andrew Cootie in 3rd. Very content with running up front so long as that last lap opportunity is there. And these guys are just slowly rolling. 8.5 seconds they lead over the remainder of the field, these 6. And they have been in control all race long. They're in the world of their own here. It looks like they're setting qualifying laps time after time. And with 24 laps remaining, it's still led by Zach Todriff, who surely led the most laps all race long. Mason Moriarty, big shuffle. Everyone's coming down pit road. Second pack has a little bit of an issue. Alex Anderson, Mason Moriarty, River Page, they're all down on pit road successfully. If you guys look to have actually gone down onto the grass, and actually, Jason Beckman already out. Beaver Serrano missed his stall, and he's going to have to shuffle all the way through. This is going to change the race as well. The complexion changes once again, as a lot of guys missed their stalls. Who's going to be the first man out? Thurston there. The pole position stall. Coming out, Alex Anderson first, Moriarty and Thurston. They catch one another. Now the first pack is going to be going in, led by Todger. John Smith, very aggressive on entry, and he'll be the first one in. And it looks like he'll be able to make it on the minimum pit speed. Molina tagged. Cootie around. Max Molina absolutely in shambles here, as we got a big issue. And a lot of these guys are going down and around. Molina having to get it back in control. This could be the opportunity for the second pack to become pack number 1. An unbelievable turn of events. This first pack comes in and they are struggling. Now it's all about where that second pack runs themselves into the picture. Still about a half lap back. Anderson, Moriarty, Thurston, and it looks like Braxton Whitaker chasing. Michael Cormanis still leads. Zach Todriff there with them. Sean Conklin, Max Molina, they're all going to be on their way very, very soon. Coming around, it's going to be Moriarty passing a good majority of them. Anderson passing a good majority of them as well. Max Molina not out yet. Bad news. It looks like Cormanis and Todriff get the better strategy of everyone. And Zach Todriff is going to have to catch up to your race leader, Michael Cormanis. It's now going to be a 5-car pack with a mix-up. A majority of these guys for the first and second not able to hold their own. Sean Rowe with River Page. Caution is out. 22 laps to go. And let's find out why. Alexander Banderas has a big issue there with Cooper Glick. Let's find out why. Instant replay going to be put out on the matter. 22 laps to go. This changes everything. And it looks like Balderas is going to be involved in a 2-car incident at the back of the field. Replay in effect here. Let's find out what happened. Glick with the 95. And it looks like Balderas right in front of him. And they're still going strong, but Balderas goes up the track and collects Cooper Glick. And that brings out your yellow. 21 laps to go now. And that is yellow number 3 as Glick and Balderas get into one another coming down on pit road. And they're not happy at one another. That is for certain. Not happy with each other as Balderas drifts in the pit road and Glick slowly but surely rolls in. Unbelievable. And Glick already on his way. Zach Todriff leads. And we've got just a bit of time, so we're going to send Fireball Talks nonstop for the last time this year. We hope you've enjoyed this stream so far. If you do, be sure to like and subscribe. Your support is greatly appreciated. I hope you enjoy our final break to promote our associates for the final time this year. Thank you all for watching so far, and we hope you enjoy the remainder of this broadcast.
This message is brought to you by the rebrand of Throttle Graphics and Designs. This publication may not be reposted without the authorized written consent of Throttle Graphics and Designs. NASCAR Camping World Ford F-150. NASCAR Xfinity Ford Mustang. NASCAR Cup Series Next-Gen Ford Mustang. Arca Menards. This has been the publication of the redesign and rebranding of Throttle Graphics and Designs. This message may not be reposted, republicated, or rebroadcasted without the authorized written consent of Throttle Graphics and Designs. Thank you, and thanks for your time.
And that is going to be our brief promotional break for the night. Let's get back to the action here and see what's going on. Michael Kremenis, Zach Todorov, Alex Anderson in third, Mason Moriarty in fourth, River Page in fifth. Everyone gets stacked up once again, double file with now 19 laps to go. Let's get back to the action here. And a lot of guys were waiting on that yellow, and they just got their saving grace here, as Kremenis and Todorov, first and second, the drivers in the first and second packs for the majority of this race, now with a long run behind them and a short run in front of them. We'll see who will be able to get it done here in Talladega, as 19 laps remain for every one of these guys who are still left, as Zach Todorov is still on the track. Michael Kremenis is going to blink out for just a moment right in front. These guys are still pushing as hard as ever. Beaver Serrano there as well. Alexander Balderas, final driver in the lead lap, waiting slowly but surely for the race to get back underway. And we will send you a brief crank it up when this race gets back in action before we present the remainder of this one without interruptions, and we are especially excited for the remainder of this presentation here. Race has gone great so far, and it's been led mostly by Zach Todorov. Will he be able to hold on? We're going to find out. 42 laps out of 60 so far, and we'll go back to green on lap number 43. The iRacing pace car right in front of Zach Todorov comes in shot. Welcome to the man who's been leading a good majority of this race, and I assume live as well on his Twitch, and always live streaming the races on the Paintbrush 54 Twitch stream. And great insight you can get from those onboards that drivers provide on social media services. And Zach Todriff, one of those guys doing that night in, night out. And gotta thank him for the support here tonight, as he's got a lot planned in the future. The 12 Hours of Daytona, he's presenting his own event very, very soon, and a lot more details he will release in the near future. A lot of guys from this league looking to get into that race as well. But now, this race is the focus. 19 laps to go, and we're going to get back to the action in just a moment's notice. Cormenis, Todriff, your front row. Let's get back to the action here, and it's going to be led by those two drivers. Green flags out, big shove there from Todriff, and it's going to go places as he's far out front. Let's crank it up. Once again, 15 laps to go, big incident, and it's only getting bigger. Now let's find out what happened. They're thinking to spin right after. You can see these guys surely involved in the incident all together. Let's find out what happened. Once again, we see a lot of guys go around, and we're still hearing the onboard audio there from the driver of Alex Anderson, and he got lucky there. Let's see what happened right in front of him. That's where it appeared it occurred, that incident. Let's find out why it happened and what could have caused it. We're watching with Alex Anderson not on board this time by. And it looks like Mason Moriarty goes into the wall, and Moriarty is going to be the big one to watch here, as Mason gets into it, gets into Cooper Glick, Conklin in the wall, and a lot of guys go around as a result. Glick around, and the majority of the field still able to get through it. And a lot of guys take to the grass to get right around it, as Heather Cameron gets through. And let's send it back to the replay, or rather, let's set it back to the replay, of course, to make sure that you guys see that once again. And it's going to be Mason Moriarty, the big one to watch this time by. And Moriarty had a lot of damage after that one. Sending it back, instant replay on the matter to show you all what happened. He got shoved in by Andrew Cootie, makes contact, and spins it around. And that is the cause of this incident. Cooper Glick involved as well. Glick puts it into the wall there, and he's able to get out of it after the fact. But a lot of smoke. It's a smoke show here in Talladega. 16 laps to go. Let's send it back now to the live feed and see who's still remaining, as Cooper Glick on pit road, while the leaders such as Michael Cormenis are still out on track. 16 laps remaining here in Alabama. And let's see whether or not this one is a shortened yellow. A lot of yellows in succession here. We'll see whether or not they make the judgment call. Make this one just a bit shorter. It's been done before, as Michael Cormenis still leads the way here. And a lot of these guys in private voice chat, so we can't get an interview from any of these guys up front so far. And unfortunately, that is the case. Cormenis not able to be interviewed. 46 laps in, out of 60. Alex Anderson third, Sean Rowe fourth, Jason Beckman in fifth. as John Smith is in position number 2. Aiden Walker is in 6th. Lyle 7th. Will Shack in 8th. Maximilian in 9th. And Alexander Balaires in position number 10. Glick is now getting up to the field once again in 11th. And he's going to go right in front of Balaires for only a moment. Although it looks like he's trying to get in front of a few drivers here. We'll see who he tries to get in front of. Because right now, the 05 machine scored in 9th. Right in front of Sean Conklin and Max Molina. And as it stands, only a few drivers have retired. 20 drivers on the scoring loops are still in this race. Braxton Whitaker in 20th, the last of which, as he gets back onto the racing surface here. And he is not a lap down. Mason Moriarty, however, will be put a lap down next time by. The drivers are rounding what appears to be the final turn in just a moment's time. 46 laps out of 60. Crunch time, that is for certain. 15 laps left. We'll be going green with 13 to go, however. Meaning there's even less time for your final moves to be made here in the 13th round of the IORA Cup Series. John Rowe, number 9 team machine, 4th position right now. Jason Beckman in 5th. Aiden Walker in 6th. Corey Lau in 7th. Will Shack in 8th. Glick is in 9th. And Sean Conklin in position number 10. It looks like now Max Molina is up to the 16th position. More like down to the 16th position. We saw him all the way up in the top 10. Not sure what's going on there, as he's lost a lot of spots to drivers who appear to have just gotten onto the racing surface. And it looks like Alexander Balaires in that same boat as well. Balaires down to 19th from what looked to be 9th last time we checked on him. With 15 to go, it looks like these guys having some sort of pit penalty. And Balaires has yet to take a fast repair. He's still rocking the damage that he had beforehand. He still has 2 fast repairs in his arsenal. And we'll see whether or not he chooses to use them all race long. He's gone the majority of the way without them. He might be able to go all the way, as he has only taken optionals as long as this race is gone. 14 laps to go. And the front rows have been decided. Cormetis on the inside and John Smith on the outside for the first row. The second, Sean Rowe and Alex Anderson. John Smith right beside Michael Cormetis for the lead. Jason Beckman in 6th with Aiden Walker in 5th. And the majority of this field has used at least 1 fast repair. However, your top 4 drivers have not needed to use 1 of them. And as it stands, no driver has used 2 of their fast repairs. Unbelievably so. Even drivers who have retired from this event. It looks like they simply did not stick around to get it done. Yellow flag still being waved here. So we're coming to the front stretch in about half a lap's time. John Smith, Michael Cormetis leading the way here. The iRacing pace truck right in front of him, as we will go green in just a moment's notice. Will Shack up to the top 10. He's had quite a tumultuous race running up front. Well, he has, but at the same time, we've seen him all the way down, a lap down within the 15th position range. Now the top 15 drivers are on the lead lap, however. And even if he was down there, he'd still have a winning shot on the lead lap. If you're on the lead lap, you've always got a shot here at Talladega. These super speedway races breed chaos as much as they breed cautions. So a driver like Shack might be able to come home with the underdog victory as the pace car dives in once again. 14 laps to go. For Menace right in front of John Smith. 25 machine right beside the 48 Chevy on Chevy. 3 drivers in the front row are not with Ford. 2 Chevys and 1 Toyota, as the Ford Mustang, lonely in the top 4, is Alex Anderson. Let's see what he's got for Cormetis. That time by green flag back in the air. 14 laps to go. Going to become 13 laps of green flag racing remaining, as Cormetis gets a nice start on his own. And getting a nice start on your own is meaningful, but at the same time, if you get a nice start with a buddy there on your bumper, you get much faster, and Cormetis knows it, because John Smith and 3 wide and his partner Zach Todriff. And when it comes down to it, you want a buddy right there with you. The inside line fading back. Alex Anderson knows it, and John Smith going to take advantage, while Sean Conklin's the fastest with Zach Todriff. The twin 54s now lead the way and go down to the inside line, as Thurston clears himself on John Smith, and Smith holds on. John right there with them. Top two drivers, Conklin and Todriff, and they're doing great so far. Far out in front of the remainder of the pack here, these two drivers are, and they have a nice advantage with James Thurston is closing in slowly but surely. And it looks like right now, the 54s are running away with this one. 49 laps out of 60, 12 laps to go here. Coming to lap 50, single digits coming up soon here. And Conklin has that momentum on the inside that the guys even on the outside don't have. But now Andrew Cootie going to go to the lead now. He's in front. Aiden Walker going to be clear as well on Sean Conklin. A new two-car tandem is in the lead, but they're going to leave Conklin and Todriff some room. The outside line is being pulled all the way up. And how about that? Conklin slowly but surely losing some pace here. New leader, Andrew Cootie, and Andrew Cootie sees Aiden Walker in his rearview mirror, pushing him up front. And this race is getting more and more intense. 12 laps to go here as round 13 in Talladega coming to a fittingly exciting conclusion if we go all the way green from here on out. Max Molina down to the inside line here. Aiden Walker there as well. Andrew Cootie still leads the way though. And you can see that these guys are pushing as hard as ever. Beckman in the middle of the pack here with Sean Conklin, with Michael Cormetis, with Aiden Walker, still has an opportunity. He's going to get shuffled up in that outside line. Outside now has the momentum as Mr. Excitement, Max Molina, goes to the top of the charts. 11 laps to go. And here we have it. 7 for the 11 laps to do it. Leading the way here, the Monster Energy Machine being pushed hard by Sean Rowe, and 11 laps will become 10 laps to go here in Talladega, and this is the final stretch. 51 laps out of 60 already been completed. As it's side by side, Cootie and Walker, and that's for third. River Page there as well. And how about it? Jason Beckman in the midst of it, 3 wide, Conklin, Beckman, Todriff, Anderson, Glicken, Aiden Walker's around. Single car spin. Will they call it? I don't think so. And Aiden Walker's winning contention might just be over as he gets it saved. No damage. And let's get an instant replay, see what happened. My, oh my. And Todriff right in front. But Andrew Cootie gets in Aiden Walker. And Walker not going to be happy about that one. My goodness. Sending it back to the live feed, the driver of Walker still pedaling around the racetrack. 52 laps completed, 9 laps to go. As the lead pack going down to the back straightaway. They got about half a lap there on Walker. As you can see, Molina still leading the way. Focusing on the inside line though. You can see the momentum being pulled up by Sean Conklin and the like. And 3 wide, 2 rows deep now. It's all going to shuffle back again. Going out to that high side without momentum. Not going to work out in your favor. Double file seems to be the way to go. Max Molina being pushed by Michael Cormetis and River Page there as well with 9 laps to do it. And Cormetis goes to the outside. Page follows. Everyone's going to file Michael Cormetis in, and everyone's going to file Max Molina out. Unbelievable. And this race is changing. Molina there, Sean Rowe, Sean Conklin, River Page, and Michael Cormetis. And this is getting more and more intense. Up to the high side there. Jason Beckman alongside as well. River Page right there, double file. Twin pairs up front, 8 laps to go. Up to the high side, Max Molina there. And with 8 to go, it's getting more and more intense. And you can see the second pack is there. Balderas and the like in it. Heather Cameron just outside. He's in there. But he is hardly holding on to that lead pack. Max Molina still leading with Sean Rowe right behind him. Teammates working up front. 8 laps to go here. 7 laps now. And Molina has the edge here. Watching on board with the driver of that number 7 machine. And Sean Rowe now goes outside. Jason Beckman in the 3rd position now, looking for the 1st. And now, Glick goes down the inside line, but he's blinking. Not good. Having a line leader blinking, you never want that, in iRacing especially. And down to the inside, Sean Rowe makes a really nice cover. And now he's in front of his teammate in Molina and might be able to pull him to the victory. 7 laps to go. It's now, it's never. As we look to have a nice group of about 10-15 able to go to the checkered flag here. It's Thurston pushed by Todriff. John Smith there as well. And now James Thurston back out in front. Your pole sitter being pushed by the man who's led the most laps. And it couldn't be a more fitting duo up front with 6 laps to go. We'll see whether or not they make it to the white flag. It's all up to speculation when it comes to who's going to be able to make it to the checkers. But if you want to win this one, you're going to want to make it to that white flag. John Smith now going to push his teammate in Zach Todriff. Big maneuver there. And down to the inside line, John Smith goes with his teammate. Sean Rowe still in the mix. Michael Kermenis there as well. And Todriff still leads. 6 laps to go. It's going to become 5 laps to go. Everyone coming down the stripe. This time by Rowe's going to lead the lap. 5 laps to do it. Unbelievable. Rowe leading for Michael Kermenis now. And now River Page up to 3rd with Alex Anderson in the 4th spot. And pit cycles not playing a factor, but that second pack from before, now they're all outside. They're working for one another quite nicely. The outside line has the edge. John Smith gonna get turned here. Single file incident once again. No caution. River Page right there with Michael Kermenis. Sean Rowe there as well. And 2 drivers have been left out of this pack. James Thurston looks to have a bit of damage, but he's still holding on. But he's in last in the pack now. He's gonna have to make a quite nice comeback if he wants a chance here. And this is what it comes down to. 4 laps to go. Kermenis leads over Sean Rowe, and Alex Anderson's right behind him. Double file, 2 rows deep. Michael Kermenis there as well. Watch out, as it looks like Sean Conklin goes right up high. Now Rowe's got the edge with teammate Todriff right behind him. And rush hour, surely these are the final minutes, and they're the most intense minutes. Alex Anderson, big maneuver there, big block on Cooper Glick. Sean Rowe, Zach Todriff, Michael Kermenis, your top 3 right now. And everyone's setting up for that final run to the checkered flag. The 54 machine now has his teammate there. Michael Kermenis does not. And everyone is separated except for those 2. Rowe and Todriff know what they're doing with 3 laps to go. And of course, the white flag, every man for himself. When it comes to teamwork, it usually applies until that white flag flies. Getting your team up front is what you want to do. But right now, most of the field is single file. This first pack, they're the only one you're going to want to worry about. They have about a 5-6 second gap to the remainder of the field. As a matter of fact, they have a 12-second gap to Alexander Balderas, the lonely man with no pack, as Beaver Serrano, James Thurston's teammate in the Flopper Racing member of Mason Moriarty, and Alexander Anderson up front, while Andrew Cootie is not. These 3 still in a pack, while Sean Rowe leads Michael Kermenis to the stripe once again. It's going to become now 2 laps to go. And Kermenis knows his opportunity is there. He's less than a 1/10 of a second away from the race victory. Will he be able to hold on? We're going to find out. It's now or never for the driver of the 29 machine. And the driver of the 25 machine, of course, that Red Bull warrior there in Michael Kermenis. And Sean Conklin right behind him. River Page looking to get back-to-back wins in IORA. Can he do it? We're going to find out. Rowe's got a huge lead, 0.2 of a second. Now, it's all about clawing him back once more. And barring a wreck, on the start-finish line here, the next lap and the next flag will end it. Caution or yellow. Rowe, he's got the edge now. And coming down the stripe, this is it. 1 lap to go, the final lap at Talladega. Everyone's going to go through quite nicely in the first turn. 3 wide in the back of the lead pack. And single file for the top 5 drivers. It's Rowe, it's Kermenis, it's Conklin, it's River Page, and it's Jason Beckman. Your top 5 drivers as Zach Todriff gets the momentum. Max Molina blocks Todriff and Thurston here. And this is what it's all about. Up to the high side, Cormetis goes, he's gonna lead Sean Rowe to no one! No man's land, Cormetis gets wiggled! And now Page down the inside line! Big turn, big impact, everyone's going to wreck! I can't believe it! It looks like now Sean Conklin, Cooper Glick, they're gonna make contact, they're off the track, and it looks like coming out of turn 4, Zach Tardriff wins for the first time in the IORA Cup Series. River Page comes home one spot short. We've got a new race winner. My oh my. And the 54 Paintbrush 54 machine gets it done. Welcome back, Zach Tardriff. We've been missing ya, and you just showed us why. Let's get a replay on that incredible finish. My oh my. Unbelievable. And Tardriff played that thing perfect. Now, let's watch it at about a third of the speed to try to understand everything that happened there. I can't believe it. The instant replay we are going to place, and it all came down to a few maneuvers. First off, involving River Page and Sean Conklin. Sean Conklin and Cormetis getting into each other. Page gets into Molina, and Tardriff actually gets a piece of that. And Jake Wilkerson saying, "Let's go, Todd." And it looks like the Tardriff fans out here tonight, and Cooper Glick gets out as Tardriff makes contact there with Heather Cameron. And Glick looked to have it. But Glick makes contact with Sean Conklin, and Page takes the grass the whole way through. And Cooper Glick looks to have it, but Conklin comes right up the track and destroys him. And that's where it was settled. Zach Tardriff gets it done. River Page able to slide around the wreck, and he still brings home a second place finish. But the Todd is your winner in Talladega. Unbelievable. He gets it done. And what a show put on by the man in that number 54 machine, his teammate and John Smith rolling up to congratulate him. And they're still burning it down. And Zach Tardriff gets his first victory in the IORA Cup Series, and it comes at Talladega. And he can't be more surprised about it than we are. I can't believe it myself. What a maneuver. He played that thing perfect. He led the most laps, and he gained that confidence to keep it up front. And now he gets to burn it down with the man who was largely responsible for him being up front for that first long run, John Smith, keeping him honest. And you can see these two from the chopper camera. Still burning it down together. An incredible celebration for an incredible drive, Zach Tardriff and John Smith. Smith comes home 13th. And we're just going to watch them burn it down. Unbelievable. It came down to strategy. It came down to the fortitude of the driver of that 054. And the Todd himself still celebrating. And we'll be watching this till the motor blows. With a custom paint scheme, even inside with the uniform, representing his own Twitch channel. Zach Tardriff, the man. He's still burning it down. It looks like we'll be here a little longer than we expected. He's going to come back to the start-finish line, as a matter of fact. He is not done celebrating this victory. And now, he's right there on the start-finish. And still, celebration. We'll get the interview right after this. How about it for Zach Todriff winning his first IORA race by 0.8 of a second over River Page in that 54 machine. And how about it? Cooper Glib coming in saying, I almost won and absolutely almost there, and almost got it done at the end of it, but an incident there with John Conklin, and it leaves Zach Todriff to get it done. He's still far from blowing his motor, it appears. We're going to watch on board again in what could be the longest burnout celebration we've seen all year long. How about it? And it looks like now, burnout might just be concluded. Or is it? How about that? This might be the one that burns it down. The engine still holding on. And there we have it, the motor blown for your race winner. And Zach Todriff, well, he can't burn it down much longer. He still comes home as your winner. Unbelievable. Now, let's get him in for an interview. Before that, we're just going to get some feed from the race to roll it through, because that was quite the show put on by the man out front, who's able to get it done as your race winner. Unbelievable job by Zach Todriff, getting it done in style here in Talladega. We're going to try to loop it back, get the feed as we speak, and try to see it from his perspective, that final few lap run. And here we have it. Slowly but surely, watching that last restart. Let's get the interview in. However, for the man that gets it done for the first time in the IORA Cup Series, the driver of that 054 machine, Zach Todriff, winning at Talladega. How do you feel?
And it feels great. It was great to dominate a race like that. We almost lost it, and then to come back and get the W for the good old PBR crew is amazing.
And absolutely able to get that victory, and it came down to that last lap and putting yourself in the right position. And how was it through that final restart, getting yourself up front and making sure you'd get that victory?
Man, I don't know. When me and Thurston got hooked up a couple times, we were gone. And me and Conklin got hooked up, we were gone. Felt like whoever I could get in front of me, I'm just going to push and then get out front. And then when it came around the other way, last lap, I saw Max Molina make the move in front of me. I'm like, I'm just going to push Max Molina to the win. I try to hope for something. And all of a sudden, everybody wrecks. And then my wheel broke in that wreck I was in. It's like I had the wheel angled at 90 degrees to the right, just trying to finish it. And all of a sudden, I see Cooper and Conklin get together. I'm like, oh, okay, hold on. Let me put my foot into this. Let me downshift the gear and see if we can get this. And then all of a sudden, they wreck. And then, the pure domination race just continued with the victory.
Absolutely pure domination. You led the lowest laps tonight, and that long run with that 6-car pack really set you up to be up front for the majority of the race. It seemed like a team effort there. How was it through that long run? And we were just hoping it would go that way, and you'd be able to get the win from there.
Yeah, that long run was good. Johnny Smith behind me. PBR, we had Molina in that pack too. So all of us were hooked up. We were all reading each other's mind what we're going to do. We got Cootie and Conklin involved in the plan. And then, when we all came down pit road, I was like, oh boy, because these guys, they shot past me. I'm like, I'm going to go speed. Then also you see these guys all wreck off pit road. And I'm like, yep, this is where my race is done. And then luckily, when we came out of pit road, we got the yellow. We sat P2, and then we were up front a little bit. And then some wreck happened. We were involved, used one of our fast repairs. And then we just had a grind to get this win.
Absolutely a grind non-stop. Now, the remainder of the season, of course, we got a lot of time before we get to that one. Of course, the next week, we're going to be back in not a super speedway. However, race 14, it will take place at Long Beach. We expect to see you for the remainder of the season.
I don't know. I'm not a road course guy, so you probably won't see me at road courses, but you'll see me try to make some attempt to try to make the playoffs if there is one, since we got a win under our belt. and try to have some more fun in this league with the amazing people that run it and the amazing PBR guys we got.
Absolutely able to get it done for PBR. Zach Todriff wins from Talladega. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Here we have it. The Todd getting it done. Now let's get to your second position driver, and it is the man in that number 24 machine. And you're now third in the championship points, River Page, position number 2 tonight. How do you feel?
Oh yeah, that was pretty fun. Honestly, a lot of the drivers here, they say they like a good battle race, but I really liked that it was pit strategy, kept it clean for most of the race. Messed up on pit road, lost the pack that I was with, but the caution came out, kind of saved me. And then on the last lap, me and Conklin and Cormenis lined up there, and I think all three of us had a chance at the win, but got a little squirrely. I ended up with second though, after drifting through the grass, so I'm pretty happy. It was pretty fun.
Absolutely. That final run through the grass, that's what determined it. That got you up to second. And how was that final restart after such a long run that we had to determine the majority of the race?
Yeah, it was definitely important. I don't know how many, it was like 15 to go or whatever, but I knew we needed to get a good start and get up and lead, and that's what me and a couple of my teammates did. We just got up and ran in the front, and that set us up pretty well. Unfortunately, that little last lap thing happened.
And absolutely, the last lap setting a lot of guys into motion, and teamwork, that's what made the dream work here. And you had a lot of guys right beside you for a good majority of the race. How much did that play factor into your strategy?
Oh, it was definitely important. Cormenis was in second, and then Conklin and me, and we were all planning on making a move for the lead. And Sean Rowe was the leader. He couldn't really do anything, so it was really important. I don't know what would happen if we weren't, we didn't know each other. We couldn't organize that move to get to the front. So really important, definitely.
Absolutely, the importance of working in a group. And right now, as an individual, you're on a hot streak, winning last time at Kansas, and this time by second. So you're third in the championship standings. Next week is Long Beach. You see yourself being versatile and going from intermediate to super speedway to a road course and keeping yourself in the championship hunt.
Well, I like to think I'm pretty good at road courses, but I know there's a lot of talented drivers in here that will do really well at Long Beach, so I'm excited to see. Hopefully I can stay in the top 5, keep that streak going. But yeah, I'm definitely excited for Long Beach. I think it's gonna be a good race for me.
Long Beach, looking forward to it for the driver. That 24 machine making a lot of moves. Second place tonight, River Page. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you, and congrats to Todd. I love Todd. Everyone loves Todd. I'm so glad he won.
And how about that? The support for the winner still showing through from the driver in second. Thank you once again.
Yeah, thank you.
And there we have it. That is River Page. Now let's get to the man who finished in the third position tonight. And Sean Conklin, you're still leading the points here, but tonight coming home in the podium. That last lap changed everything for you. How do you feel after that final restart?
That whole race was chaotic. I mean, it was good racing, everything leading up to the final lap. Just wish it would have went our way there at the end. Like walking through the final lap, coming off 4, I went all the way down. Me, Cormenis, and River were working together, and we were trying to go down. I thought Cormenis was going all the way down to the bottom lane, but he wasn't, so I wasn't able to link up with him. Excuse me. And yeah, then it was just chaos from there. I got slowed up from that. I thought I had it. Then I saw Cooper out of nowhere. Like last second, I looked in my mirror, I saw Cooper, and then I just threw it to the bottom, hoped it stick, but he was there, and then it caused the whole thing. And I tried to save it. When I tried to save it, my hand got caught in the wheel, so I couldn't turn it back the way I wanted to. And it was just a whole mess. Then I went into the wall, but we still got third, just rolling backwards across the line. But yeah, I mean, still first, gained points, and it's good race for me.
And an unbelievable finish, of course, in strategy. It always came down to the wire at Talladega, but this time it was a lot of strategy throughout the race. And how did that affect the way you went through this race with one really long run, eventually culminating in that very short run to finish this race off?
I was hoping it would just be that green flag pit stop, and then that's it. And then until I got into the pits, and then I got unfortunately turned by Cootie, which gave me a black flag. But then I really was hoping for a yellow, and then we got one the very next lap, so that put us back in the race. And then everything from there, I just tried getting back up to the front, and I did. Then I realized, because we just kept shuffling each other out over and over again, then I realized, because we were going to do it again with like 3 to go, but then I realized if we did it again, we were just going to go to the back. So we just stayed in line, and it worked out semi. It semi worked out. It worked out for 2 of us, at least. But unfortunately, the other one, it didn't.
And absolutely, it ended up coming out down, of course, to that final run, and the strategies changed a lot for a lot of drivers. And you're one of them who was able to come on top next week, Long Beach. How do you feel going into that one?
Long Beach? With the next show? Oh, no. I mean, Long Beach is a fun track, don't get me wrong. But with Next Gens, I might be all over. I don't know. We're going to have to see. I might have to test for that one.
And absolutely going to be much different. A change of pace. Road courses once again with these next gens. Going to be a great show nonetheless. And Sean Conklin still leading the points. You got some room for error, but you're sure running up front once again, you're not going to have to need it. When it all comes down to it, Sean Conklin, 54 machine. Any final thoughts?
Yes, I want to ask you one question. David, is it grippy?
And that's going to be it for Sean Conklin tonight, rounding out your podium procedure. Thank you for stopping by, and we'll talk to you next week.
Oh my God, goodbye. I'll see you next week.
And that's going to conclude your podium procedure there, Sean Conklin. Yeah, that's Sean Conklin, all right. And that's going to end this one off. So let's get to your race results tonight. As you can see, a majority of the guys who ran up front all night on your screen right now as we slowly but surely roll through the final restart, showing you how these guys lined up. Zach Todriff coming into frame, and how about that Zach Todriff getting it done for his first win in the IORA Cup Series, and he gets it done in style. The Todd wins from 8th position on the qualifying charts, with Rapage in second by about a second himself, and Sean Conklin rounds out the podium. James Thurston, your pole sitter, finishes in first. Max Molina rounds out the top 5 with Sean Rowe, Michael Crometis, Beaver Serrano, Mason Moriarty, and Heather Cameron rounding out the top 10. And Alex Anderson in 11th, Alexander Balderas in 12th, John Smith in 13th, with Will Shag and Braxton Whitaker rounding at the top 15. Aiden Walker in 16th, Cooper Glick in 17th, and Jason Beckman in position 18, with Corey Lyles in 19th, and Andrew Coutier, first driver, 1 lap down. Retirees go as follows: Herbert Solomon, Ethan DeWeldy, Landon Gentry, Joaquin Stewart, and Michael Dietsch, with 24th and 25th, not eligible to run this race due to the iRating and safety rating cap imposed by this league. What a show put on by all 25 of these drivers who showed up tonight. An incredible run by every one of them. And it all comes down to Zach Todriff getting his first victory in the IORA Cup Series. And it's one he won't ever forget. We got to thank every single one of you for the support all year long. This will be our last broadcast of this year. Of course, possibility we get one extra, but I don't believe we will at this rate. Gotta thank you all for the incredible amount of support we've gotten all year long. It means the world, and we could not do this without any of you, and that is for certain. If you want to, of course, leave the subscription, leave a like there. It would mean the world to us, and every single piece of support helps us week after week. No matter when, no matter what, we thank you, the fans, for watching live on Fireball Talks NASCAR. Whenever we're live and whenever we're presenting, you all mean the world to us, and we hope to have you next year. See you all as we race into 2023. We'll be back on Wednesday, and it will be a new year with a new set of faces coming in to the picture. Watch out. Next year is going to be great, and thank you for making this one as great as it has been. Good night, and we will see you in 2023.